He was so juicy, but he was so good. In a division overflowing with giants, in an era where heavyweights looked sculpted from steel and whispered accusations followed every highlight reel, one man didn't just survive the storm, he became it. His name was Alistair Overeem, and between 2008 and 2010, he transformed from a talented striker into something far more terrifying. For a brief, brutal window in combat sports history, he wasn't just competing in K1's heavyweight division. He was hunting it. K1 at that time was not a playground. It was a battlefield stacked with knockout artists, elite strikers, and physical specimens who carried the aura of invincibility. This was the era of thunderous low kicks, bone-shaking right hands, and bodies that looked chemically engineered for destruction. Yet Overeem did not just fit in, he towered above them. Broader, stronger, colder. By 2010, he had already begun his metamorphosis. The lean, rangy light heavyweight from earlier in his career had evolved into a hulking, muscle-bound destroyer. Every movement carried weight. Every clinch felt suffocating. And when he entered the K1 World Grand Prix, the message was clear. This was not a man looking to participate. This was a man looking to conquer. The first statement came against Brazilian karate champion Ayrton Teixeira. Teixeira was no amateur. He was decorated, disciplined, dangerous. But the fight did not even stretch beyond a minute. Teixeira came forward with aggression, looking to impose speed and technique. Overeem met him with violence. A clinch. A shift in position. Then the knees began. They were not rushed. They were not wild. They were measured detonations delivered at close range, crushing into ribs and torso with surgical cruelty. Teixeira's resistance evaporated almost instantly. He folded as if someone had unplugged him. It was not a contest. It was an execution. And with that finish, Overeem marched one step closer to claiming the K1 throne. When he officially captured the 2010 K1 World Grand Prix Championship, it wasn't a surprise. It felt inevitable. But the year was far from over. Later in 2010, he stepped into the ring with one of the most explosive and controversial superstars in kickboxing history, Badr Hari. Hari was everything Overeem was not. Flashy, emotional, volatile. Fast hands. Dangerous combinations. A man capable of erasing opponents with a single sequence. The tension between them was electric. This wasn't just sport. It was collision. Overeem came out aggressive, firing heavy kicks and tight combinations. Hari stayed composed, answering with his own speed and forward pressure. For moments, it looked like Hari's explosiveness might disrupt the Dutch powerhouse's rhythm. Then the pressure began to mount. Overeem forced the clinch exchanges. He leaned his weight. He bullied the inside. And then, when the space opened, he delivered a brutal knee that shifted everything. A follow-up hook crashed in behind it. The referee stepped in. First round TKO. It was more than a win. It was a statement. The rivalry would simmer, but that night belonged entirely to Overeem. K1's flashy superstar had been grounded by brute force and calculated aggression. Then came the war with Ben Edwards. If the Teixeira fight was surgical and the Hari bout was explosive, the Edwards clash was chaos. Edwards came forward with reckless courage, throwing uppercuts and overhands with savage intent. At times, it looked like Overeem might be overwhelmed. But that was the illusion of heavyweight combat. Backed into a corner, Overeem did not panic. He fired a massive counter overhand right. Edwards staggered but refused to fall. The crowd roared. The violence escalated. Another heavy exchange. Another crushing hook. Then it happened. Overeem stepped forward and unleashed a sequence that felt final. A heavy left hook dropped Edwards. Somehow, impossibly, Edwards rose again. The resilience was admirable. The outcome was not negotiable. Moments later, it was over. First round. Devastation. At this point, heavyweights were not trying to outfight Overeem. They were trying to survive him. Zabit Samedov? No. Gokhan Saki? That was different. When Gokhan Saki entered the ring against Overeem, analysts believed this might be the technical puzzle that slowed the juggernaut. Saki was sharp, fast, elite. Early in the fight, he rocked Overeem. Clean combinations. Sharp counters. For a brief moment, the aura cracked. But Overeem adjusted. He shifted levels. He targeted the body. A brutal body kick slammed into Saki with punishing force. The momentum flipped instantly. Saki's structure broke down. The referee stepped in to save him from further damage. Another elite striker dismantled. Then there was Mark Hunt. Unlike many others, Hunt carried an iron chin and terrifying knockout power. This was not a fight where brute strength alone would guarantee safety. One clean shot could end it. And it almost did. Hunt landed a crushing right hand that dropped Overeem. The crowd erupted. The monster had been hurt. The myth looked vulnerable. But this was not a man built on muscle alone. This was a fighter who had sharpened his fight IQ over years of adversity. When Hunt moved in to finish, Overeem reacted instantly, shifting the fight into a grappling exchange and locking in a submission. The armbar sealed it. Victory stolen from the brink of collapse. That win proved something different. Overeem was not just physically imposing. He was adaptable. Dangerous everywhere. The soul bout against Tae-Hyun Lee ended quickly. Overeem overwhelmed him with a barrage of punches and knees, suffocating him under sheer force. First round TKO. Again. By the end of 2010, the narrative was undeniable. He had knocked out legends. He had overwhelmed elite strikers. He had survived adversity and still finished the job. He had claimed the K1 throne. For a brief, terrifying stretch, Alistair Overeem was the most physically imposing heavyweight in combat sports. Yes, the whispers followed him. The jokes about horse meat. The accusations about size and transformation. In an era filled with giants, suspicion was part of the atmosphere. But inside the ropes, speculation did not throw punches. He did. The knees. The clinch work. The counter right hands. The crushing body kicks. The evolution from talented striker to hulking destroyer was complete. He did not just win fights. He evolved into something the division had to reckon with. And K1 felt it. For those years, stepping into the ring with Overeem meant entering a storm built from muscle, precision, and controlled aggression. Some tried to stand their ground. Some tried to outrun the power. None escaped untouched. That era remains one of the most fascinating chapters in heavyweight history. A moment when raw physical transformation met elite skill, and the result was a reign of destruction. Now the question is yours. Was that 2008 to 2010 run the most terrifying heavyweight stretch in kickboxing history? Was that version of Overeem unbeatable on his best night? Or was it simply the perfect storm of timing, evolution, and momentum? Drop your thoughts in the comments. If you love revisiting legendary combat eras like this, hit that like button so we know you want more deep dives into fight history. And subscribe for more breakdowns of the most dominant, controversial, and unforgettable warriors the fight world has ever seen.